Hello! Here comes the boom. Boom. Yes, it's Uncle Sega's ancient absolute unit of a chunky gaming boy, the Game Gear. Yay! That's when we cheer for the Game Gear. But I tell you what, it had its problems back in the day. The size of it was kind of expected at the time. But the screen just wasn't very good, you know. It was very blurry from new. And the capacitors went very quickly. This particular one has had the capacitors replaced, and they kind of went again, and now it's not bright. Ugh. I ended up getting one with a replacement screen, known as a McWill mod. There we are. This isn't that one, though. This is the one with the missing thing for the batteries, because, yeah, another problem was the battery life. It took, well, as you can quite clearly see, 6 AA batteries. They lasted less time than the actual car ride to Grandma's, let alone having any charge to actually play them round Grandma's. You could run it off the mains. If she'd let you near the plug socket and wasn't scared it'd blow a house up. Old people and technology in the 80s, eh? But yeah, that's very on brand. Look at that. Super 53 in 1. I'll bet that's genuine. Anyway, yeah. I'll tell you what would be nice. A brand new Game Gear mod. One of these modern remakes, maybe smaller than the original, with like 40 games in it. Imagine that. Rechargeable internal battery, possibly a replaceable one if they were being really nice. Good old big screen, but one with, modern LCD or even OLED, so it looks amazing. Oh, that'd be superb, wouldn't it? And then they announced the Game Gear Micro was coming from Sega. And we were all like, oh, Game Gear Micro. I wonder if it'll be like the same size as the Game Boy Micro was. Because, it's a little bit small, this bugger, isn't it? Especially if you hold it upside down. But, this is about the smallest you can go before things become sort of unplayable, really, aren't they? We used to laugh and say the screen is like the size of a postage stamp. Yeah, well, it isn't. Look, I've got a postage stamp here. It's about the size of 2.5 postage stamps, I would have said, by the time it was manoeuvred around. There we are. That settled that one then. Yeah, I do love me a bit of the old Game Boy Micro, but yeah, the Game Gear Micro didn't go quite the way we thought it would. Here's how it went. A little bit fucking small is the answer to that. Yep, here's the box. Quite obviously. Don't know why I bothered pointing that out. So, they basically released multiple Game Gear Micros in different colours and all the different games, because they only have 4 games in each. Only 4 games in each, you say? Surely that's not enough. No. As it turns out, that is plenty. Because it's not really designed to be played. It's designed to be owned and stuck on the shelf and looked at occasionally, as will become painfully obvious. So it comes in this very nice, brightly coloured Japanese box. And it's all very Japanese because it was only released in Japan for the equivalent of about £50. But if you want to get one over here, it's going to cost you a few more pennies than that, I'm afraid. Right, let's jump in here. Do you know, now I'm saying that, I think it was the equivalent of about £40, actually. I think it was closer to 50 if you wanted to get one imported at one stage, but they sold out very quickly. Yeah, anyway. Ready? If you haven't seen this before, you're in for a bit of a shock. Yes. It's almost keyring sized. Yeah. Here's the real bit that upsets me. If I can get this bloody thing. Oh no, it's stuck to something. Hang on. We've got it. Screen literally the size of a postage stamp. Put that back on carefully. They're expensive stamps. Yeah. Well, the good news is it's a fully functioning Game Gear. The bad news is it's only got 4 games on it. It has no rechargeable battery. It, in fact, runs off 2 AAAs, if I recall correctly. Let's open it. There we are. Yeah, marvellous. And, yeah, let's be honest here. It ain't designed for playing because it's just so silly small. You've got your volume control. You've got a headphone jack. You have, of course... Oh, wait. Why would you have a micro USB if it has no internal rechargeable battery? Yep, you can run it off the mains if you want. I think your battery life is going to be pretty good off these. Also, did I mention... not really designed to be played, and they've got something so you can literally use it as a keyring. So that's nice. Yeah, it's the gimmick of the gimmick. It is a thing sold to the collector men so they can put it on their shelf and say they've got one and look at it, because it's beautifully done. Look at it. Absolutely. A box just fell off. I'm slightly worried as to what that was. And B, I thought you could actually fit it in there for a second. That would be amazing. But yeah, it's beautifully made, it's beautifully rendered, it works really nicely. But it's very small. Did you notice? Right, have a look at this as well. If we can get that focused on the D-pad there. Wibble wobble, jelly on a plate. Yeah, it's not the nicest. It's a bit sort of loose and crap. Doesn't feel quite as definite as the old Game Gear one I've got here. But the big problem with it is you need to put on a fair bit of pressure to move it to the left, and it locks down quite quickly. To the right, it seems to go down a bit further, but also is much easier to push. It's like the whole thing is slightly skewed to the right, which makes it awkward to use. It was a lot worse when I first got it. It has sort of worn in. When I first got it, it was like very hard to move left and very easy to move right. But yeah, it is not a nice D-pad, so that's a shame. But again, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that the D-pad's weak. It doesn't matter that it's only got 4 games, and if you want other games, you have to buy different coloured ones. It doesn't matter that there's no rechargeable battery, because you ain't going to be playing it. I mean, we'll turn it on for the look of it, but here we go. Game Gear. See, I'm zooming in now by bringing it closer to the camera, but that's not fair. I mean, when you're looking at it, you're going to be looking at it from a distance, like this. Right, what have we got? Ooh. Sound up, please. Thank you. So, yeah, you've got your 4 games, which on this one is Sonic the Hedgehog, another game, I can't remember what that one is now, bugger, should have written that down, Outrun and Royal Stone. Good luck understanding a couple of those if you don't speak Japanese. Right. Sorry, this is very bright. I'll try and bring it down a little bit in post, which is another way of saying I won't be able to. If you press this button, it turns from the covers of the games to the spines, which is quite nice. You've got some settings. Can't understand them, so that's always nice. That's the credits or something? Yes. Technical readout. It says Linux kernel. Well, like a bit of Outrun. Very much like a bit of Sonic. Let's get Sonic up then. After 3, ready? Oh, it came earlier than I thought. I talked over it. Well, that's today ruined. Right. Should keep this still if I'm going to alter it, really, shouldn't I? Go on then. Just show us how nicely it plays. Because it does play well. Other than the shito D-pad, it's, yeah, it's plenty responsive. Feels the same as the Game Gear version. Looks an awful lot clearer. It's just nice, yeah. But, ooh. Do you know, this button seems to be going a bit already. Which is something of a problem. That's not good. I have to really push it in hard now for it to do anything. Oh, Sonic, you fool. You've done it again. There we are. Get your magic ring. Well, that'll do, really. I mean, the screen is far, far too small to really see what's going on. The controls aren't great, and it's a bit uncomfortable to use because, of course, it is tiny, tiny, tiny. Because it's all a bloody gimmick, isn't it? But don't worry. With my special hand extension, I can now play... oh, that didn't work. Hang on. This is the way to do it. Look. Yeah, now we're talking. Get your tweezers and the... oh, forget it. Well, as I did mention earlier, there are other colours you can get as well. Here's a yellow one. But what games does this have on it? The answer is, let's have a look. 3 different Shining Force games, and that weird kind of... cookery RPG Puyo Puyo game I could never understand, mainly because it's, in Japanese. If you don't speak Japanese, you're not going to have much fun off this one. But yeah, over the years, they did release many different coloured Game Boys, and you know what? They've released many of them in this range with different games on. Going to be about 40 quid each, or you can spend hundreds on like a set that come in a frame and stuff. It's, it's literally just points. It's such a shame. Imagine if they'd used this technology to make something like half the size of this with 40 games on it, better controls, a size of screen you could see. It would be absolutely fantastic. But instead, we have merely the gimmick for the Japanese people to put on their shelves. And I think that is a big shame, frankly. Feels like a waste. Really does feel like a waste. Big up, by the way, to Elliot Cole of the YouTube channel The Retro Future, who very kindly loaned me these. But hang on. Cast your mind back. Wasn't there, like, a magnifier made for the Game Gear that made the screen bigger? Dun 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 dun. Big Window. Yes, it was actually called the Sega Big Window. I can't get the light on it from this angle. There we are. Sega Big Window. Yep, they've produced this for it. So you can make the screen bigger. Wait! Are a lot of our problems going to be allayed here? No! Because much like I remember the original one being for the Game Gear, it doesn't actually magnify the screen very much. It's a Fresnel lens, so you get slight distortion as well, so that's a nice bonus. But yeah, whilst it does clip on nicely... Oh, it takes a long time to start up. There we are. Take it off. Yeah, it's made a very small amount of difference and made the screen look worse. Let's just put that over there and just marvel at the technology that's gone into it, which, I don't know, I really hope they do make a mid-sized one. It would be so nice. Anyway.
There is a video game that doesn't exist.
The Polybius.
Polybius.
Polybius. Polybius.
It's an urban legend. A myth.
That's just a myth gamers tell to scare one another. It was released into arcades circa 1981.
Directly impacts the emotional area
Some
of
sort
the
of
brain.
euphoric trance.
But the legend is real.
The most addictive game ever. You've got to let this one go. It's far too deadly.
Truly amazing.
And it's in Norwich.
Best of luck saving the world, or not. It's totally up to you. No pressure.
Time to see what Mother Nintendo has laid, because yes, they've done a portable gaming thing recently as well. This one much more widely available. You can get it in America, you can get it in the UK. That's where I bought it, obviously. It's a Game & Watch colour screen. All the old Game & Watch games on a portable thing? That'd be fantastic. No, it's Super Mario Brothers. It plays 2 NES ROMs. And 1 Game & Watch game. And it's the bloody ball juggling one, which isn't even that great. Where's your Donkey Kong? Where's your Donkey Kong? But it does tell you the time. Not that I bothered setting the clock on it. Also comes with a nice thing to keep your box nice and pristine. Because again, it's something mainly for the collectors. Well, I must say, these boxes, very thin cardboard. I'm not impressed with those. Anyway, 50 quid these are, so that's £10 more than one of those in theory. In reality, you're probably spending 50 or 60, as we said, to get them over here. Let's slide this out. Here we are. It's got a rechargeable lithium-ion. Look, little USB cable in there. USB-C, in fact. And the device itself. Now, this is far more sensible from a game-playing perspective, if I can ever get it out of the box. Yes, it looks like a Game & Watch, but with a charge port and a power button. And that is good. Now, the controls, buttons are very nice, as you would hope, and the D-pad. D-pad needs quite a bit of pushing. You need quite a bit of force to get that running, but, yeah, works really nicely. It's nice to see a good D-pad. We've had a run on crap D-pads recently in this world, and now that is slightly improved. That time is wrong, because I've never set it. But yeah, big, high-res, clear screen, which is nice. You want it fairly high-res for Game & Watch, because Game & Watch, of course, were old LCD things, and, you know, they're sort of cut out of something before they have the electricity put through them, which stops the light going through them, which makes them go black. That's how a liquid crystal display works. But yeah, as a result, they had very rounded edges, so you wouldn't want a low-res variation. But, well, you can press game. You can play the original Super Mario Brothers. You can play Super Mario Brothers 2. And you can play 1 Game & Watch game. Did they just think that Game & Watch, I don't know, isn't something that people want these days? They didn't bother doing them? I just don't really understand it. But surely if they're going for the sort of collector's market anyway, because are most kids going to be wanting to be playing the Nintendo Entertainment System Super Mario Brothers? Wait for it. Where's the music? Bum, 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 bum. Yep, this looks really nice. Screen's lovely. Emulation's spot on, as you would bloody hope for an NES game. I mean, for crying out loud. Very hard to play it through the viewfinder. Yay, coins. I feel like I've missed the mushroom. Oh no, my game is over and everything is ruined. Go on, let's play the one then. For some reason, I'm sure that's originally was like the Game & Watch man, wasn't it? And now it's got Mario's head, because this is the Mario one. Also notice that I'm sometimes pronouncing it Mario and sometimes Mario. That's purely to annoy you. Right, unpause. Oh god, no, it's good. There we are. Yeah, this wasn't the greatest of games, but hey, bit of nostalgia. It's nice to see it rather than let the game die completely. But overall, I mean, you get more of this stuff in as like sub-games in bloody WarioWare, didn't you? You know. Yeah, well, we'll show you Super Mario Brothers 2 just to show you it's a thing. Oh, Luigi game. My man Luigi. Come on. Bloody flying Koopas. Shouldn't be allowed. He hasn't got a licence. Ah, well, that'll do. Back to the time. And you can press some things and put some bits and bobs in, and it plays different tunes and stuff. And if you're really lucky and you're not in English, it plays. It'll show subtitles in the wrong language due to some error they made in it, which of course they can't patch, but that's not a massive problem. Yeah, it's just kind of a thing, really. Really nicely made and put together. What we need in this world is a fusing of these. We need this bigger. You could, even if you wanted to, you could change the design so the screen was bigger, so it fitted more like that. I wouldn't mind if it wasn't as precise to the original Game Gear dimensions. I could live with that if it was a more playable thing. That's what we need. We need these things to fuse and create, and also we'll drop a load of extra games in as well, and that would be a thing of loveliness. This nice D-pad, nice buttons, bigger screens. Oh, I don't know. It's been a funny old time, this video, isn't it? It's just kind of things which should be really for playing games that seem to be more designed to put on your bloody shelf, possibly literally in this case, because it's got a clock on it. But overall, at least you can play the NES Super Mario Brothers and Mario Brothers 2 on this for 50 quid. Whereas you ain't really going to be playing much on this at all unless you have magic binocular eyes and the tiny hands of a shrunken little elf. And I mean, maybe you do, and maybe that's the thing for you. But then you're only getting 4 games, so So there you go. Will people buy anything that looks like a Sega product? Maybe to an extent. I mean, I'm sure many of you are watching it and going, oh, I really want one of those. I kind of felt like that myself a little bit, I must admit. When I first saw one, I thought, oh, that's no good. Surely that's too small to play. But what if it isn't? And oh, it's such a nice thing. I want this thing. Now I've got it in my hands, I'm like, I'm glad I didn't buy one. Because I know full well I would never do anything with it. Ah, well, that's the end of the video. Again, thank you to Mr. Elliot Cole of the Retro Future, who has made this possible with his repeated excellence. If you want to check out Elliot's channel, and you absolutely should, because it's full of handheld goodness, I shall put in a link at the end of this video in the end plate thing. Anyway, until then, this is just too weird.
Subscribe for more.